A lot of people, and this includes everybody from philosophers and economists to ordinary people, believe that human nature is fundamentally selfish, that we're only ever really motivated by our own welfare. But if that's true, why do some people do selfless things, like helping other people at enormous risk and cost to themselves? And the answer may be that the brains of highly altruistic people are different in fundamental ways. But to figure out how, I actually started from the opposite end, with psychopaths. Psychopathy is a developmental disorder with strongly genetic origins, and it results in a personality that's cold and uncaring and a tendency to engage in antisocial and sometimes very violent behavior. Although they're not generally insensitive to other people's emotions, they are insensitive to signs that other people are in distress. And in particular, they have difficulty recognizing fearful facial expressions like this one. And fearful expressions convey urgent need and emotional distress, and they usually elicit compassion and a desire to help in people who see them. So it makes sense that people who tend to lack compassion also tend to be insensitive to these cues. The part of the brain that's the most important for recognizing fearful expressions is called the amygdala. Psychopaths' amygdalas are smaller than average, by about 18 or 20%. But remember that my main interest is not understanding why people don't care about others, it's understanding why they do. So the real question is, could extraordinary altruism, which is the opposite of psychopathy in terms of compassion and a desire to help other people, emerge from a brain that is also the opposite of psychopathy? We discovered this by testing a population of truly extraordinary altruists. And these are people who have given one of their own kidneys to a complete stranger. Why would anybody do this? That's a very common question. And the answer may be that the brains of these extraordinary altruists have certain special characteristics. They are better at recognizing other people's fear. Their amygdalas are larger than average as well, by about 8%. And I've had the opportunity now to ask a lot of altruistic kidney donors how it is that they managed to generate such a wide circle of compassion that they were willing to give a complete stranger their kidney. And what do they say? They say, there's nothing special about me. I'm just the same as everybody else. And I think that's actually a really telling answer. These altruists literally don't think of themselves as being at the center of anything, as being better or more inherently important than anybody else. And I think that this is what really distinguishes extraordinary altruists from the average person. But I also think that this is a view of the world that's attainable by many and maybe even most people. And I think this because at the societal level, expansions of altruism and compassion are already happening everywhere. 100 years ago, people would have thought it was ludicrous how normal and ordinary it is for people to donate their blood and bone marrow to complete strangers today. Is it possible that 100 years from now, people will think that donating a kidney to a stranger is just as normal and ordinary as we think donating blood and bone marrow is today? Maybe.